Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are extremely pleased to have with us Dr. M.P. Rishikesh. Sir is the director of CMR Center for Business Studies. I'll start off by giving a brief introduction for Sir and welcome him mostly on our initiative Thoughts on Education. Um, Sir did his Master in Commerce in Personal Management and Industrial Relations. Then Sir did his MPhil in Trade Unions Behavior in the Industry in 1995. And Sir has done his PhD in Human Resource Management in 1999 from Mangalore University. So started his career as a lecturer in GK Shetty Vivekananda Vidyalaya Junior College. Sir was the professor and head of Department of Commerce in Sri Bhuvanandra College. Then Sir served as the director of MSM Institute of Postgraduate Studies. And Sir has also served as the Dean for Ramaya Institute of Management Studies. And finally, Sir right now is the director of CMR Center for Business Studies. We are extremely glad to have you with us, Sir. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Abhijit. Yeah, let me briefly summarize what you said.
Sure.
I'm a humble professor of management and also commerce.
Yeah.
Initially, I was in commerce. Later, I migrated to MBA program when it kicked up its speed in 2005.
Sure.
That's how I'm sitting in front of you. I had a very lucrative career just in front of the main gate. I had a bungalow with a 2-bedroom and I was almost, taken care in every respect in a college where I worked for 22 years. It was in Manipal Group and the students, the town, everything was very nice to me.
Sure.
But I opted out because then I was seeing that there is a trend towards the management education. And that prompted me to divert myself into the MBA program. Since I had my PhD and I had 22 years of experience, I thought I can serve better to the students community when I joined this MBA program. That's the first submission which I would like to make.
Sure.
And I sacrificed lots of my, high profile and took up the challenge of managing, administering, and making things happen in a management institute. Still today, I'm happy also because this is one thing which I like all the way. And I have a family background of teachers. My father was also a teacher. My 2 sisters are also teachers. So therefore, teaching is something which has come in my blood. And I love to teach. Even today morning, I took 1-hour class for my students. So being a teacher, I also thought, what else I can do to the students community. That's one serious way that I thought was get into the administration, get into the crux of the issues, the decision making, and help the management to see that the students are better. See, ultimately, any director of any institute, if he or she feels that I can do something better to the students community with the guidance, advice, and support of the management,
Sure.
I think that would be the best thing that is happening for a teacher. And I belong to that particular category, and I feel I'm honored to be in the midst of the students, learners, and people like Abhijit, because they are interested into the management education. So this is my humble submission before Abhijit starts with his rituals of interview or making me to ponder over the points where I have done some exercises. Thank you, Abhijit.
Let's start, Sir. So my first question probably comes from what you've just said. You've held various key positions in various organizations in your career. I would want to understand, Sir, what is the connect? What kept you hooked to education as a sector? You said you come from a family of educators and teachers, and that's obviously one motivation. What inspired you to be a part of this industry, Sir, to be an educator?
See, the only industry in which you would find, I would put management institutes as an industry because there is a target for us.
Sure.
Most of us would think that it's a very safe seat. It's not a safe seat. We work on the targets.
Yeah.
if the student does not take the admissions, I will be out. That is, up or out is the policy of any management institute. Therefore, the first and the foremost thing which attracts me towards this director, or you call it as an administrator, is I would like to be the part of the academic administration of an institute. That is the first priority of mine. When I say academic administration, it's not simply teaching. Academics begins with the students only. Therefore, when you look at the students' community, they need some assistance, they need some help, they need some guidance. Now you tell me which way we go, there some student will come and stop us. What he would ask, what is next for me? If he has a mass card with him, he wants an admission. After the admission, he has an examination. After the examination, he has a mass. This is a vicious circle where you find that students need some effort and advice from the mentors. When I say the mentors, the persons who likes the students. It's not simply you are a professor, therefore you should like a student. It's basically the philosophy lies with a teacher to be in the midst of the students.
Sure.
If you don't like to be in the midst of the students, you're out. You're not supposed to be an academic administrator. So the first thing that I would advocate here is, as an administrator, we need to be on our toes to see that the day-to-day requirements are properly met. You may say scheduling, you may say ERP. For everything, it is ultimately the director who is responsible. When you are wedded to a university system, when a separate syllabus is prescribed on you, it does not mean that you should be restricting your academic movement only to the syllabus. See, people like us who have enough experience about academics and administration, we should think in terms of what is best suited to that student. In fact, in the modern new normal, we are all tailors. What a tailor does, a tailor will do the job of fitting that particular cloth to the requirement of the physique of a particular person.
Sure.
A similar analogy I would like to endorse here. As an academic administrator, though you have 120 students, 60 in one batch, 2 batches, 3 batches, 4 batches, your ultimate purpose is you should tailor make all the academics to the requirement of the student. As like the 5 fingers, so like the 5 individuals, 5 students. Each student will be having his own needs and desires apart from the mass card. I always look at beyond the mass card. I always look at beyond the results. I always look at beyond the academics, because the academics is a passport. At the end of the day, when I say your MBA is a life building exercise, what is that I have given it to him?
Sure.
Can he stand in his own legs? Can he make up his life? Whether his parents can lean on him as far as the economic freedom is concerned. Most of us wonder why the parents should lean on the student. The parents spends. They spend in lakhs. If you want a foreign degree, you spend in lakhs. Then what is the urgency today is make sure that every student who gets an admission to the portal of a college, make sure that you attend to him with a tailor-made solution.
Sure.
If you don't have a tailor-made solution, you want to create a hub, then we are totally mistaken about the present generation. That is where we find all of us, including the college dunya, we should come together and see that the students' platform has more clarity. The students' platform has more wisdom. The students' platform has more opportunities. And the students' platform is full of potential. Which potential? Potential to grow, potential to succeed, potential to exceed. If you have any attributes which makes any particular student to excel in whatever field he likes, I would feel that would be the best exercise that we will be doing. Therefore, my attraction towards this academics, toward this management institute, especially when I look at the CMR group of institutions, for 25 years, they have created miracle at Bangalore, especially the northern part of Bangalore. The way in which they have progressed, starting from a small school with 6 children, today we have more than 16,000 students. And these 16,000 students are not there in one particular stream. Almost every stream, you name it, from pre-primary to PhD program, we have it. You name it, we have the course, except the medical and the paramedical courses. We have 65 acres of the, reserved land and the spacious building for our university system. What I'm trying to tell you is that is the vision.
Great.
Growing from 6 children to 16,000 is a vision. It's not that easy. You can bundle up with the students, but slowly, steadily, you progress and you bring fame and name.
Sure.
Today, when I speak about CMR, I feel proud. I feel proud not because I'm working, because of the brand. The brand never allows me to quit or to go away from this CMR. Yeah. It is the 11th year I'm continuing with CMR. I came here only for 3 years of my directorship.
Interesting.
But it continued for 11 years. That means there is some substance.
So on that
means we are there to help.
Sure.
Yeah.
On the same note, I'd like to ask you, so you said you were here for a tenure, eventually you came in for a tenure of 3 years, and then it's been a journey which has lasted more than 11 years now. So what was your vision initially? And how did you see it evolving over the next course of 8 years that you went on to lead the college and to grow a phenomenal height?
See, basically, when we look at the vision of the institute or the vision of any particular educational sector, it's basically they will feel that, there should be lots of academic activities, extracurricular activities, and make sure that the best of the talents will join the institute and they will pass out with flying colors and make sure that they will go and speak about the institute. In fact, my vision was also that. Over the years, how could I sustain this is because every batch of students that I have received, that was challenging. Every batch of students, they were meritorious. Every batch of students, they wanted something extra. Every batch of students, they run an extra mile. And as a director, I cannot simply sit quietly here. Second, I cannot run away also because I have a commitment for these students. When the parents come and meet me, when they suggest that we would like to join the CMR MBA program, I get thrilled. We have heard about the CMR. Therefore, we have come here. And I get thrilled because my students have passed on the information. When the students pass the information, they say, you go to CMR, you meet a director, you to explain what you want, then you will understand how the things are working. So this particular, psychology of the students and the psychology of the parents, that made me to continue here because every time they come, I don't want to miss them. That's the reason why I continued here, number one. Number two, I'm not quite pretty sure that if these parents come to us, if there is somebody sitting here, whether he would satisfy. Even if he satisfies, they would be looking for something that tailor-made things. And therefore, when we look at the MBA program, it has lots of requirements. It's unseen is much larger than what you see in the MBA program. That is my humble submission to all the MBA aspirants.
So
That made me to continue because there is a challenge. There is something which is missing. There is something which I have to do. There is something which I have not completed. There is something where I wanted to achieve. I had a gold medal in HR from Bangalore University. I wanted a first rank in Bangalore University. See, that academic scaling is always there in my mind. I was fortunate enough when I was in the college from first year pre-university to the final BCom. Next to me was sitting a first rank student. When I was there in my postgraduate program, next to me there was a first rank student sitting next to me. I was not fortunate to get a first rank, but I had the flavor of the first rank, which I wanted to disseminate to my students. And always when my students comes here, if they have more than 85%, why don't you try for a distinction? Why don't you try for a first rank? And it is coming true in CMR. Therefore, I am happy as far as the students are concerned. If you have scored 85%, you reach 95%, I'd be very happy. If you have scored 55%, you reach 60%, I'll be very happy because that is what a teacher or a director can do in an institute. You take some raw materials, you sharpen them, and you leave to the society. Society will become better, and education is always having something to do with the society. If you get somebody who is not that good, you make him good and leave him to the society and you leave him to the corporate will be better, profits will be better, income will be better, and taxes will be more, and nation will progress, economy will progress. You don't think that economy is progressing just because of the business community. Economy progresses only when the human resource develop. And this human resource we find only with the MBA program because they directly connect to the industry. As they have a correct connectivity with the industry, you develop this human resource to the fullest extent. And the only asset which does not depreciate with the passage of time is the human resource. And this human resource should have the value. And that value will come only through the economy and the business. This is my perfect understanding as far as these schools are concerned.
I think well said. So,
Over to Abhijit.
capital is probably the essence of the time right now. So I would want to understand from you, MBA is, like you very well said, is a course where it's not only about academics, it's not only about studies and exams, it is also very much about how relevant your exposure to the industry is, how well you can implement all that you are learning inside the classrooms and apply those lessons outside in your life, because it's very work-centric, it's very practical in its approach as a discipline. What are the kind of initiatives that are being taken in your college towards ensuring that students get a practical exposure to the industry while they're at studying and completing their 2 years in MBA?
See, in fact, this is one thing which whenever we have an admission counseling, I would like to stress upon, because normally when the students comes, they would say, sir, what is the placement? We get 100% placement, these things they would ask. Then I normally outright cutthroat, I tell them, I don't run the employment exchange here.
Sure.
We run an academic institution here. What we do, through the academics, we see that your employment interest is taken care. It is not that here I have a classroom, there you have the industry where they will give you a job. That will not be possible. It is your creation that makes you employable. I have a philosophy. My philosophy is very clear. If you are employable, there is no unemployment in this world. So how do I make you unemployable? That is my botheration. That is my challenge. That is my task. It is not only you get distinction. In 1 year of the 4th semester, I had more distinctions and less first classes. I was also amazed, because getting first classes is easy, but getting distinctions is not that easy. And that batch of students were very studious. They were very hardworking. They didn't get the rank, but they got more distinctions. Out of 120, there were 62 distinctions, which is a very rare when you look at the MBA results. There will be more first classes. So therefore, what we need to do as far as these students are concerned is, when they get into the MBA portal, the first thing we should make it clear that academics is 50%. They should go to their head. If they score 100 out of 100 in a subject called statistics for managers, which is possible, I'm teaching for them, that means he has scored only 50 marks in statistics. Another 50 should come from the application of statistics in business. For that purpose, we have immediately after the second semester, 1 month internship, 4 weeks. Immediately after the third semester, before we start the fourth semester or end of the fourth semester, before we complete, we have dissertation for 6 weeks.
Sure.
Now, why do we subscribe this? This is basically to mold all your academics into the industry perspective. And that is where we start in the beginning. So what do I do when students and parents come here, when they ask about these particular placements and everything, then cut short, and then I'll tell them, look, here I have a practice. What is my practice in CMR Center for Business Studies? Every student who needs internship in an industry, apart from what has been prescribed by the university, which I just explained, you will get a paid internship. I don't supply free labor. 1991, when Manmohan Singh and Narasimha Rao has liberated our economy, since then I have been propagating things. India has no cheap labor. We are always with economic utility. What is the economic utility? The economic utility is, if my students are hired by a corporate, whether it is for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 6 weeks, they should be paid. I tell you, in the first instance, when my 24 students went, 24 check came to my table.
Interesting.
And in that check, it was written CMR Center for Business Studies. It was given to the CMR Center for Business Studies. I told them, you write their names because it is for them it has come. I change it. It's not because I'm more interested with the students' money, but I'm more interested with what is paid to them. They feel happy. And all those 24 students were feeling extraordinarily happy because they were recognized. Their labor was used and their potential was known to them. And even today, I continue that practice, and these students, they go to the industry. So that is one area where all of us should bother, because these children should go and work in the industry, not as a free labor, but as a paid labor. Very small amount is okay, very big amount is okay, but payment should be there. Anything which is free in India, it's a waste. I tell you very frankly. We should not give anything free. You charge 5 paise, you charge 10 paise. If this 120 crore population pays 10 paise, it is something to the exchequer. So therefore, my humble submission is, I have come from a very difficult family with 7 children. The 7th plate had no means. So all these things were there. But what I am propagating is, if you want to develop, make sure that your potential is valued and it is paid. And when it is paid, you will understand, oh, this is what I am capable. Oh, this is what I can get. It is not that you subsidize with the parents' money. And therefore, this is one activity which I would suggest to everyone who wishes to be there in the management program. Second, enough extracurricular activities. Every day between 4 to 6, jumble with the activities. Maybe a small activity, maybe a bigger activity, maybe a management fest, maybe a visit to a small village, but do it. When you do it, you open up your mind. You will have so many things which will come to your rescue. Right. You will understand where the shoe pinches. What I want tomorrow, my student should not have only sympathy, and my student should be more into the empathy. If that empathy is cultivated, I tell you, MBA will be hot cakes. If today you find IIMs are hired so much because of their empathy, and that empathy they get because of the projects and the practical activities they undergo, and their professors are having not less than 10 to 15 projects with them, and these are live projects which they are doing. And in the university system where I'm constrained, I should go with the syllabus, I should go with the university calendar. There are so many things. Therefore, now CMR university, a private university, has come up. They're giving so many activities to the student. Through the activities, we can grow. So therefore, I would wish that you navigate through the MBA program with different activities which will enable you to come out of your web, and you make sure that you project the best of your talent. That is what your MBA should be. Or Abhijit?
Definitely. So, on a concluding note, there'll be lots of aspiring young students who would be listening to you. You have, throughout your answers, you have given sufficient pointers and heads up to people who are looking to do an MBA as to how their approach should be, what their mindset should be. On a concluding note, to all the people who are planning to probably join MBA this year, what should they keep in mind, considering that we have a global pandemic going on and economic circumstances have been, extraordinarily different compared to any other placement year or any other year for education in general? What do you advise to students on what to keep in mind before they decide on the course?
The only one thing that I would advise to the students is keep ready to work 16 hours a day. That's the first thing. Pandemic is about to be over. Most of the schools have opened, offline classes have started.
Yeah.
You don't just think that you will be having 5 hours of sweat in the classroom. That 5 hours may not be sufficient. If you work 5 hours at home, think that online classes are there at home. Simultaneously offline and online. Online classes means you do start working, because the more you work, things would be better. We have a very short duration now to complete the portion, so many things, but these are not the hurdles. Now we have crossed the biggest hurdle of this century. And when we have crossed the biggest hurdle of this century, what is these small things? If you sleep for 4 hours or 5 hours in a day, that is sufficient. 1 month you do it, you will repeat it. And at your age, you can do wonderful things. You are the greatest wonder of this world. Anywhere between 18 to 25, you are the best bet for education. Anything you can crack. You are just like a wet wall. Any stone thrown to the wet wall, it will suck. It will absorb. It will not rebound. If you throw at me, it will rebound. Whereas for you, it will suck. It will say, come. I will hold you. So therefore, to come out of this pandemic, the only solution which I suggest you is, don't be panicked. Number 1. Please follow all the strictest rules that has been told when the pandemic began, day 1. Don't ignore. Number 3, make sure that what you have lost, you regain. How do you regain? Go to the faculty, go to the professors, go to the institute, ask them, what was this, how is that, this. They would rush the portions, but you need not. At home, you have 5 hours of time to study. Every day, if you study 5 hours, I tell you, you will be the best lot in this world. And if you don't study 5 hours, take at leisure and start blaming the institute, start blaming the doctors, start blaming Modi ji, this will not work. Only work which I would give you is keep enough time for your academics, for your activities, to interact with your friends, because now you can see face to face, you can interact in the classroom with the social distancing. That's the best thing that will happen to you. Over the phone, don't speak. It's a waste of your time. WhatsApp, again, it will not solve your things, and it goes to Facebook, means open book itself. So what I suggest you is 5 hours in the college, 5 hours at home. If you do it as an MBA, you will write the success story.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been a proud privilege to listen to what you had to say. I'm sure our audience would have gained immensely out of all the advices that you had for them, all your experiences that you have shared. I'm so glad to have you on with us today on Thoughts of Education. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Wish.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So it's a great day for me, Abhijit, and I always wish that more and more time I spend with the media, more and more time I spend with the consultants, so that you are the persons who are in direct touch with the students community, and you get easy access. Also, we don't get that easy access. Through you, we get the access, and I know CMR University and CMR Group of Institutions is highly grateful to you people, because you have made us journey very easy, because we are strongly connected to you. Therefore, things are happening very well, and I express my gratitude on behalf of the CMR Group of Institutions, the chairman Shri K.C. Ramamurthy, and the president Dr. Sabita Ramamurthy, and the group director Dr. C.M. Bhaskar Reddy. They have done enough work, exercises as far as this CMR is concerned, and we are in touch with you. And I only feel proud that the students day by day, they are not only growing vertically, they are a better learned person, and they have the ambition to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That is something very great, which God will also bless them. And tomorrow is a brightest day for them, and let sunshine will be there all the time throughout their academics, and in particular in the management education. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Good day.